Are you someone who's only eating 1200 calories but you just can't seem to lose weight? In today's video, I'm going to be explaining to you exactly why this is happening, and I'm going to give you my top 3 tips to correct this mistake and guarantee that you see results instantly. Hi, I'm Aliaa, the founder of Limitless Coaching, and we help people get into the best shape of their lives while eating the foods that they love. If you're watching this video, I am assuming that your main goal is fat loss, and maybe after some Googling, after some researching, you have come to the conclusion that a calorie deficit is what is needed in order to achieve said fat loss, and that you found out that 1200 calories might be the number that you need to hit in order to see the results that you want. Now, if your body weight is not going down after say 10 to 14 days of eating 1200 calories, then by definition, you are not in a calorie deficit. A calorie deficit will inevitably lead to fat loss. So what do you do now? Do you slash your calories even more? Here's the thing. 1200 is a very, very low amount of calories, relatively speaking, and if you were truly eating that little for that long, your weight would, generally speaking, be skyrocketing downwards. So we need to address this and try and find out why the 1200 calories are not working for you and what we can do about that. So I hate to break it to you, but you are probably not actually eating 1200 calories. Now, this is nothing to be ashamed of. This is actually one of the most commonly asked questions, like, why am I eating 1200 calories and not seeing any results? Well, you're just not eating 1200 calories. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you the top 3 reasons as to why you may be eating more than you think, as well as some easy solutions that you can apply to help overcome these problems. Now, reason number 1 is that you are not tracking accurately. This is a very, very, very common mistake made by people who just start tracking their calories using an app such as MyFitnessPal. So what does inaccurate tracking actually mean? Well, this might mean that you're maybe eyeballing your portions. It could mean that you're not weighing out your foods using a food scale. It could mean that you are not paying attention to whether you are logging your foods cooked or raw weight. Those two really, really do differ in terms of how many calories are in there. You might be missing out on things like sauces, on oils. So there's so many different things that go into the accuracy of tracking, and it might seem very overwhelming at first, but think about it this way. If you're inaccurate by a couple hundred calories every single day, well, that sets you up to maybe maintenance for the entire week. So while you think you might be actually eating 1200 calories per day, you might be underestimating your intake. So for example, if you're tracking your peanut butter as like 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, in reality that could be 30 grams of peanut butter, which is double the calories as what 1 tablespoon would hypothetically actually contain. So my main tip for this is going to be to just actually be a bit more aware about, what goes into the food that you're eating. Try and prepare all your food yourself instead of guesstimating meals out, things like that. And then make sure you have a food scale to weigh out your food, and that is really going to tremendously improve the accuracy of your tracking. Now, before I go into the next tip, just a quick reminder, guys, if you are enjoying this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more content like this. I'll be putting out videos just like this one every single week, so make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button to never miss another upload. Now, reason number 2 is that you're not tracking everything that you eat. This is closely tied to reason number 1, but a lot of the time people might snack on things throughout the day without even realizing it. Maybe you're at work and they're giving out sweets or chocolates or cookies or donuts, and you might take a bite or a couple of bites, or let's say you're at a restaurant with your partner and you might, steal a couple of fries from their plate, or you might be finishing your children's leftovers, or you might have had an extra coffee with milk in it that you didn't track. These are all really small things that add up over time. So if you're not tracking everything you eat every single day, then you might be setting yourself back by, leaving out a few hundred calories per day that you're not taking into consideration. So that is the second main reason that I believe that you may not be eating 1200 calories every single day. So what I'd recommend in order to overcome this is to just increase your awareness and keep an actual written diary if you don't want to go into MyFitnessPal every time. So every time something goes into your mouth, literally just whip out your phone and say, oh, I ate this thing at this time, I'll log it later. Because what usually happens is we eat things and we completely forget that we ate them, and then we don't actually log them into MyFitnessPal, and that could be a big, big thing setting you back in your fat loss journey. Now, the third and final reason as to why you're probably not eating 1200 calories is the weekend. So let's say Monday to Friday, you're actually eating that little and your weight actually starts to come down, but then at the weekend, you go out and you splurge and you eat double what you normally eat. And what that does is that it sets you back an entire week of being in deficit. Because here's the thing, you can be in a deficit every single day for 5 days in a row, but if you eat 2 days in a surplus that's big enough, it actually offsets the entire deficit that you were in the previous 5 days. So that is why sometimes weekend nutrition can be very, very difficult to tackle because, you know, let's say on paper you're like, oh, it's just 2 days out of 7. I was good for the majority of the time. Why am I not seeing even a bit of progress? Well, it is very, very easy to overeat in 2 days and actually undo all of that progress. So what I really recommend when it comes to weekends, if you're in a dieting phase, is to commit to only having one meal out per week, one untracked meal of that week. And also I really recommend not slashing your calories down to 1200 during the week, because what that does is when you over restrict during the week, that actually makes you more likely and more prone to overeat and to binge at the weekend. Instead, why not go for a more moderate approach, maybe, you know, 300 or 400 calories more during the week, have one meal out of the weekend where you indulge, and that's going to allow you to have like a lot more consistency throughout your week. You will be less likely to actually want to binge at the weekend, and you're going to actually start seeing some results. So yeah guys, those are my top 3 reasons as to why you cannot lose weight when you're eating hypothetically 1200 calories, and, you know, my 3 tips to actually help you overcome those issues and to actually start seeing some results. So just to recap, make sure you're tracking things accurately with a food scale whenever possible. Make sure that you are tracking everything that you eat and that you're not mindlessly snacking throughout the day, and make sure that you're managing your weekends appropriately to not go overboard, to not binge, and to make sure that you're in a calorie deficit throughout the entire week. So if you are seeing your weight come down after, you know, applying these tips, it means that you have been successful at applying them and that you're actually in a calorie deficit. So well done to you. So if you'd like access to my private Facebook group where I'll be going live every single week and I'll be sharing some nutrition and fitness tips in general, just send me a DM with the word FB or Facebook and I'll send you a link to join that group. Or if you're watching on YouTube, just head over to the description box down below, click on the link that leads you to Facebook, and you can just request access there. So yeah, that is it for today's video guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!